The only upcoming woke mess that seems to have people less excited than Star Wars Episode 9 is the upcoming box office calamity known as Terminator Dark Fate, a movie that nobody asked for, nobody wants, and nobody will go see. At least Disney's Star Wars had some momentum at the beginning before Rian Johnson vomited out The Last Jedi. This film doesn't even have that. Its only distinction will be that Genesis will no longer be seen as the moment that the franchise finally died. Nope, they just had to dig up its corpse and do unspeakable things to it. A strange thing this 2019 is. It's not even funny. It's just pathetic. Terrible CGI, terrible, bland, unattractive, and androgynous new characters, and older characters that are well past their prime and are only there to take pot shots at or to push a certain agenda. Somebody remind me of what that agenda is, because I forget. Some people, for some inexplicable reason, are still in denial about the almost guaranteed flop status of Dark Fate. Actually, never mind. We all know the reason. Oh, you silly, silly people. We'll be grabbing some popcorn, but it won't be to watch Dark Fate. Last week, We Got This Covered tried very hard to convince us that this three-ring circus won't be a disaster, and we all got a good laugh. Terminator Dark Fate, the sixth installment of the long-running sci-fi franchise originated by James Cameron in 1984, related in name only, also marks the third attempt at rebooting the series in the last decade. That should tell you something. Even with almost 3 decades worth of inflation taken into account, Terminator 2 still ranks as the highest grossing entry. You seem surprised by this. And early box office projections indicate that Dark Fate likely won't be able to snatch away the crown from the all-time classic action blockbuster. No, best case scenario, T2 might let it lick its boots. The movie isn't exactly being predicted to bomb though. Denial. We've seen a lot of this in the past year or so, with Dark Fate set to open between 35 and 45 million. I may not be Mr. Psychic, but I doubt it will even reach the low point of that estimate. While that's higher than Terminator Genesis, which only managed to earn 27 million during its debut weekend. Actually, I think even 27 million is being generous. Those numbers are still lower than Christian Bale's Hissy Fit at 42.6 million and Rise of the Machines or Rise of Mediocre Terminator movies at 44 million. However, Dark Fate has a key marketing hook that these other movies didn't. I don't think The Giraffe is going to be much of a draw, or never mind, namely the return of both James Cameron. Good lord, he's only a consulting producer, and as I need to keep reminding you, he approved of Genesis. And Linda Hamilton, so she can steal Arnold's famous "I'll be back" line and go after the patriarchy. To the franchise, the Academy Award-winning filmmaker behind Titanic, an apt way to describe Dark Fate, and Avatar, which pretty much everyone has long since forgotten, may no longer be the director of the highest grossing movie of all time for the first time in 20 years. I have a feeling there may have been much yelling and swearing that came as a result of that, but Cameron still has name value at the box office. Perhaps not so much after this. His heavily publicized involvement in Alita Battle Angel was said to be one of the reasons why the manga adaptation managed to cross the $4 million mark globally. Not really, it was just a good movie, something that is almost extinct in 2019. And with the Terminator brand much more recognizable among casual audiences, Dark Fate could be set to eclipse that number. I was going to insert some kind of laughing clip here, but then I got lazy. Most projects that have Cameron involved in some capacity tend to fare much better internationally as well. Here's where the desperation comes in, and the Terminator franchise also has previous precedent for this, with almost 80% of the Genesis total takings coming from overseas markets. Better start praying. The domestic box office is no longer the defining factor in whether a Hollywood blockbuster is a success or a failure. No, these days it's the level of wokeness. And if Dark Fate proves to be popular in places like China, keep praying, then it has every chance to at least become the second most lucrative installment in the franchise. And I'll leave you with the chance to have a good laugh at that last line. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube continues to delete subscribers, and follow me on Twitter. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching and have a great day.